Do you fancy a cool place to visit during the summer heat? With summers around the world becoming unbearable thanks to global warming, there is an increased demand for cooler, snow-clad getaways. There are some incredibly beautiful places out there in the world where you can literally find yourself in these cold, desolate places. Canada, Scandinavian, and other countries in Europe are a must-see at least once in your lifetime. In this video, we take a look at some incredible cold places around the world that you need to visit. Stay tuned. Before we begin this video, if you're new to the channel, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Turn on the bell for the latest notifications and updates. That way, you'll never miss a video from us. With that said, let's not waste any more time and get right into today's content. Iceland. When you think of cold, desolate places, one country that should definitely cross your mind is Iceland. The country with the northernmost capital in the world is one of the best places to visit. There are some amazing things to do in this beautiful country. For instance, you can go whale watching. Over 20 species of whales, dolphins, and porpoises call the Icelandic coastal waters home, ranging from the small harbor porpoises to the Earth's largest animals, blue whales. Iceland also has horses. Seriously. The Icelandic horse is arguably the country's most famous four-legged resident. Instantly recognizable for its diminutive stature, short legs, and muscular build, this isolated breed is famed for its reliability, resistance to harsh natural elements, and for having not 4 but 5 gaits. Despite their smaller and sturdy stature, they are always referred to as horses, and you might get funny looks calling them ponies to Icelanders. The northernmost peninsula in Iceland is also worth visiting. Hornstrandir Nature Reserve is home to one of its biggest and most isolated nature reserves, which spends the majority of its short winters just below freezing. With abundant wildlife spread across a landscape almost untouched by civilization, this park offers some of the country's most stunning hiking trails. Greenland. From one of the most remote islands to the other, Greenland is another great place for the cold-loving tourist. A growing number of hikers, sailing enthusiasts, and Viking historians are not deterred by Greenland's 11-degree Fahrenheit Januaries. Greenland's capital, Nuuk, is a sight to behold in itself. A slightly different adventure from some of the more physical and outdoor experiences across the west of the island, Nuuk is a city rich in cultural history. It celebrates the earliest settlers of First Nations tribes that arrived on the island thousands of years ago, and there are many tributes to Viking and European explorers that came afterward who helped shape Greenland into what it is today. Once you're done with Nuuk, other places of interest should be the fjords, especially the Ilulissat Ice Fjord, one of the largest fjords in western Greenland. Ilulissat Ice Fjord is also one of the only remaining pieces of physical evidence from the Ice Age that lasted until about 12,000 years ago. During the winter months, the area is frozen solid, while the summer allows rushing waters from the top of the ice cap to reach the surrounding seas. East Greenland, the more remote part of Greenland, should also be on your bucket list if you're visiting the largest island in the Arctic. Rogers Pass, Montana. Next, we travel to a place closer to home. You don't need to leave the contiguous 48 states to experience a wind chill of -70 degrees Fahrenheit, which this mountain pass between Missoula and Great Falls, Montana, experienced one fine day in 1954. While January temperatures hang around -10 degrees Fahrenheit, the Scapegoat Wilderness Park might be beautiful enough to justify a midwinter visit. At least you won't bump into any hibernating grizzlies. Ulaanbaatar, Mongolia. Up next, we have the capital of Mongolia, Ulaanbaatar. This capital city holds the dubious honors of being the coldest capital in the world. It's also quite high up, being 1,310 meters above sea level and home to 1.2 million people. Apparently, it's a great cultural center with museums like the Zanabazar Museum of Fine Arts, which is just as well because you'd hardly want to linger outside in temperatures of -16 Fahrenheit, like the ones you'd find there in January. Across the year, the average temperature is around -2.4 Fahrenheit, and the climate is like a subarctic one, thanks to icy winds. But I hear the people are warm and friendly, so that's something. Oymyakon, Russia. When it comes to cold, Russia is just in another league. Oymyakon has a record low of -90 Fahrenheit, which is the lowest recorded temperature for any permanently inhabited location on Earth, and it was recorded on February 6, 1933. Of course, the daily temperatures don't ever go quite that low, but the average lows for December, January, and February are all in the -50s. Even the average for January is still a terrifying -51.5 Fahrenheit, although in July it climbs all the way up to an average of 58.8 Fahrenheit. With a population of 472, the town is quite big compared to some on the list, and its far north location means that it enjoys a 21-hour day in June, although the December day lasts only 3 hours. Fancy booking a holiday there yet? Prospect Creek, Alaska, USA. Alaska, in the United States, is an amazing tourist destination if you love the cold. However, if you're here, there's one place I'd love to suggest: Prospect Creek. Prospect Creek is a very small settlement approximately 180 miles north of present-day Fairbanks and 25 miles southeast of present-day Bettles, Alaska. This place has a subarctic sort of weather, which means that winters last for a long period of time and summers are very short. Weather conditions are even more severe now, so the area is less crowded now. The record low temperature of -80 degrees Fahrenheit was recorded. The place has some amazing history and beautiful nature to experience. You'll love this place. Harbin, China. We now travel to China, and although at first it might seem there's nothing for the winter aficionado to see here, there's one city that I think you must visit: Harbin. Harbin is a city located in the northeast of China and is popularly called the Ice City of the country. Winter lows will range usually from -22 degrees Celsius to -24 around January. Part of Harbin's annual tradition is to host a snow and ice sculpture festival, the biggest one yet in the entire world. The festival typically exhibits beautiful frozen castles and ice towers that are quite unforgettable. There are some fun activities to do in Harbin, such as walking over the frozen Songhua River or checking out the exotic architecture. Also, this being China, you can do some shopping as well. Yakutsk, Russia. Russia has some amazing desolate cities up there in the Arctic. One of those impressive cities has to be Yakutsk, capital of Sakha Republic, Yakutia, situated in northeastern Russia. It is widely believed to be the coldest city in the world, with an average low temperature of -35 degrees Celsius. Natives in Yakutsk are so used to surviving the harsh and intense winters, given that the typical freezing temperature in the city will drop further to at least -70 degrees Celsius. Now, this being a really cold city, there's nothing much to do besides experiencing how the locals live in such an inhospitable place. You can try out the local fish and food or visit the various museums that document the history of the area. Yellowknife, Canada. When we talk of Canada, we often talk about the cities of Toronto, Quebec, British Columbia, and Newfoundland. However, there's more to Canada than just these populated cities. Yellowknife is the capital of Canada's Northwest Territories. It is the only city and has the largest community in the Northwest Territories, with about 20,000 citizens. Besides being one of the coldest cities in the world, Yellowknife takes great pride in being the best place in the country to view the beautiful northern lights. During its dark and cooler months, Yellowknife will have winter lows of -26 degrees Celsius. The major events in Yellowknife's calendar are the annual Snow Kings Winter Festival and a dog sled race over the lake, both in March. You should also consider visiting the Prince of Wales Northern Heritage Center and the Hidden Lake Territorial Park. McMurdo Station, Antarctica. Finally, we have our final entry on this list. Antarctica is the most isolated and mist-desolate landmass on our planet. There is nothing much to do when it comes to activities here. However, a McMurdo visit might be worth the -21 degree Fahrenheit midwinter temperature, considering that it is the largest settlement in Antarctica with up to 1,000 residents in the summer. However, keep in mind, you can't visit McMurdo Station as a tourist. You must be a researcher in order to work at McMurdo. Nevertheless, if you happen to be a researcher interested in Antarctica, this should be on your bucket list. That's it for today's video. What are your thoughts on the coldest places in the world? Do let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching.